Hello, Julie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to make a design team project for Denise Boddey Designs. I'm using her latest paper release called Enchantment, and I'm also going to use this die and stamp set. It's called Build a Hydrangea die and stamp set, and I will put links to what I'm using in the description box to help you out if you're interested in having a look at them. Now, ever since I got this stamp, I wanted to have a go at making this because I think it has got great potential to make a really pretty card. So that's my plan, and I'm using, as I said, I'm using the papers from Denise's Enchantment paper collection, and this one is A Magical Place, and I'm going to use this side of that. And I've got this remnant or this scrap of the same paper range. I can't remember the name of this one, but I'm going to use that for the leaves. So I'm going to start off by stamping all of my pieces. Now I'm not quite sure exactly how many of those little stamps I will need, these little ones here, but I will stamp quite a few. Now, first of all, let's stamp some leaves. If I put them on there like that, then put my block on top, that should pick them up. I could use my stamping press, but I think I should be alright. I'm using VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I find that VersaFine is excellent ink for stamping. It's always nice and crisp and clear, and if I had have pressed on that properly, I would have got a nice clear image. There we go, it's near enough. Okay, I will do more than one of each. I'll do 4 or 5 or 6. I'll try to do it properly this time. So this is a good leaf. You could use this with anything, not necessarily just this flower, but it's a nice big open leaf that will work with most flowers, I think. So I'm happy with the leaves at the moment. I'll just get a baby wipe to clean my stamp off. I know it's not necessary to clean your stamps, but I do. I always clean them for some reason. I like the look of a nice clean stamp, I guess. So now I'm just going to dry that off a little. I don't know how these baby wipes will affect the stamps in the long run, but that's something that we will find out as time goes, I guess. Okay, now I'm going to stamp the flowers. I'm going to stamp these and this one, and I'm going to stamp that onto this paper. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this to my Big Shot and use my dies to cut everything out. So the leaves and the flowers. And when I've done that, I'll come back. Okay, so I have fussy cut all of those pieces, and I have actually gone ahead and shaped a whole heap of those little pieces. So I've just left a couple to show you how I shape my flowers. I have these flower shaping tools, and you can see that it's just a selection of balls on a rod, and the size of the balls varies, so depending on the size of the flower that you're going to shape, which balls you're going to use. So I'm going to use this the second smallest one, and all I do is push into the petal like so, and then just run around in the middle like this to cut them up so they shape like a little cup. Okay, and so this one's got a slightly bigger petal, but this ball size will still do the job for that, so I'm just pushing down or pulling from the outside of the petal to the centre of the flower just to shape that. You can see how much it's cupping, and then just run around on the middle just to make sure that they are standing up, and you can see there just exactly how deep that is. So here we have a couple of bigger flowers, so I'll probably use this size ball for this one. Same technique, start from the outside and pull in. You can see. I'm just using this here is a stubby holder. I've cut the bottom off and then cut down the side. You can see I've got lots of glue on there that I probably shouldn't have got on there. I'm going to have to make myself a new shaping mat. I have seen people use mouse mats for this as well, but any soft mat that will let you push down. Also, if your paper is really stiff, I mean this is quite good quality pattern paper, but if you're say using a thick cardstock or something like that, you can spritz it with your water spray. So just give it a little spritz with this, and that will help to shape it, make it a bit easier. But this is working fine as it is, so I don't need to spritz this paper. Okay, so that's all of my little flowers shaped. I've got my two big ones here, and I should shape my leaves while I'm at it. I'll do the same thing. All I do generally with the leaves is I'll generally run my tool down the centre of the leaf. Oops, went right through that one. That should be right though. That might be a bit too small. Use probably something like this. You can see that. So it just lifts them up a little. Just gives them a little bit of shape. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little flower there that I will shape because I may need it. I'm not exactly sure how many of these little flowers I'm going to need, because my plan is to stick these on top of that flower base, this, to give me a three-dimensional flower. Okay, so let's get the art glitter glue. I'm going to start. You can see here we've got the bigger petals in the centre, and then they get a bit smaller around the outside. So that's what I'm going to work on. And I'm using art glitter glue because I find that that's quite good and really holds. So I'm going to stick that on there like so. Actually, I might stick the leaves on first, so that as I stick the petals on, that they will cover, the flower petals will cover here where the leaves overlap. So I'm only sticking in the centre of the leaf. We'll stick a little bit under there as well. Okay, so there we have our leaves. Now I'm going to continue to attach these here and there. Well, in truth, I'm going to cover the whole flower. So the variegation in the pattern paper helps to give the flower a little bit of interest in its colouring. So I've sped this up slightly, and you can see that I'm really tucking those little flowers or little petals under each other, so I'm getting a nice lot of dimension on this flower. I'm using various tools to poke things in so that they fit nicely together. Now I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. I'm going to cover that whole thing, and when I've got that covered I'll come back. Okay, so you can see here that's very textured, and I've got a layer of flowers over the whole thing. But what I'm thinking is I might put some smaller ones inside of those bigger ones. What do you think? Think it gives an extra? I think it does. So I'm going to go ahead and put one of these into the centre of each of those larger ones, like so. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I will come back to you. So now I've got them all stuck together. I've got the 3 layers on each one of those flowers. Now I'm going to use this Kinder Glitz. This is just the crystal one. And I'm just going to put a little dot in the centre of each of the flowers. I don't want to overdo it. That one's too big. And I am hopeless at doing things like this. I always end up with way too much on the project, but I am trying to keep it to a minimum. Okay, so there we go. That's that one. Now I have stuck these down as well, but I'm going to stamp and cut some more to fill this flower, because I'll do some more leaves as well, because if I want to use a second flower I will need that one, and I want some leaves to go with it so that they don't just all blend in together. So that's what I'm going to do, and when I've got both of my flowers assembled, well, this one's done, and that's all dry, I will come back and we'll start assembling a card. Okay, so I have finished my 2 flowers. There they are. They've both got the sparkly in the middle, and that was the Kinder Glitz. So I have cut myself a card base. This is 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, and the card base card is 300 GSM smooth white. Okay, so now I'm going to use some paper from this sheet. So I'm using, actually this paper is from this same sheet that I used to cut those out of. So that's the back of it. And this is the piece I've got left. I've cut this piece from the top here, and this is going to be the background on my card base. You can see that I have embossed that, and to do that I have used this Poppycraft embossing folder number 241. So that's going to go on there like so. So you can see I've made it just as well. The card is 5 1/4, and I've cut this at 5 1/8. So there's only 1/16 of an inch all the way around. And this is a piece of vellum that I've also embossed with the same embossing folder, and that is going to go on top of this like so. So we've got the pattern paper underneath, but it's muted down by the embossing paper, the vellum. So I'm just going to ink around each of these layers. I'm using my black ink cube to do that. This is a Versacolour ink cube. They used to sell it at Spotlight, or they still do sell them at Spotlight, but you have to be pretty quick to get the black ones. They sell out pretty quickly. And I'm also going to ink around this pattern paper. And I'm going to go ahead and attach that to my card base. Now I'm going to put these leaves coming up from the bottom. I don't think it makes that much difference, to be quite honest with you, because you can't really make them out. By the time I've finished adding all the things that I want to add to this card, you won't really see the pattern in the background. But we know it's there, don't we? And it will be visible. Okay, so that's that. Now my embossed vellum, I'm going to add that. I'm going to add a Rive glue through the middle, and say about there and about there. I'm not going to attach glue to the actual top and bottom, because I really prefer to see that loose, and also I don't want to run the chance of being able to see the glue behind the vellum once I've finished my card front. And the flower is going to go in the middle here somewhere, so that's that. Now I have also cut from this piece of pattern paper, which is called, so that's the back of it, that's the front of it, and it's called Tiptoe from the Enchantment range. I've cut 4 strips of paper. They're 1 inch wide and about, what is that, about 5 inches tall. And I'm going to mark down from the top of those about half an inch down. So how am I going to do that? Like that. Well, that looks like it's wider than an inch. Oh no, that's an inch. So about half an inch down, I'm just going to put a dot in the centre there and a dot in the centre there. And I'm going to do that for each of these 4. So, how is everybody? Hope everybody's enjoying this new year. It's new year and new starts to lots of things. Time that a lot of people reassess what they plan to do with the rest of their life. I am not so philosophical. I just think about the things that I was fortunate enough to do last year and hope that I get the chance to do something similar this year. So I hope your new year brings you everything that you were wishing for. Okay, so now that I've got those dots there, I'm going to cut fishtails into each end of these. You don't, if you're going to make this card, it's not obligatory that you do this. Some people don't like banner ends. Personal taste, personal choice, and I do like them. When I fast forward, I don't generally put anything on in the background, so don't think that your video has lost sound or whatever. It's just generally if I fast forwarded it, it's got no sound. So that's the stars cut. Now I'm going to ink the edges of each of them. Okay, now I'm going to attach these on the front of the card. So just across there. So they'll go across there like that. Now you could mount these on foam tape or cardboard or whatever, but the dimension on my flowers is going to be quite enough, I think, so I'm not going to, but if you wanted to, you could do that. So I'm going to add these just using my glue. So I'm just going to try and position these centrally between the top and bottom of the front of the card, and also even the spaces between all four banners. Okay, so that gives us the base. Now I have some lace here, somewhere, here. That it's a variegated lace and it had wire in the edges. I took the wire out and I have just ruffled it up and stitched down the middle with my sewing machine, and I thought I'd put that on there somewhere. And my flower, and that sort of pokes out from the edge of the flower. Whether I cut it in halves and have some coming out the other edge as well. I'm not quite sure which way I want this flower to go, to be honest. Do I like it that way? Probably, and then I can put my sentiment up there. Drop that down a little bit. Yeah. So I could cut that about here. Put half there and half there. And then my flower on there like so. I think that might be what I'm going to do. So let's attach that. I have got fabric glue here, so I'll use that. I don't use the fabric glue very often, so I suppose I better check that the hole is still open. Yes. All looks good there. So a bit of glue on the back of this. Pop that down there. I'm putting it in about the middle of the card, maybe a little lower than the middle. Do the same with this piece. Okay, just wipe that glue off my fingers, otherwise it'll end up everywhere. And now I'm going to attach my flower about there. What do we think? Do we like that? Or I have got the little one I could add in here somewhere. So I could add another one. Like that. The other thing I was thinking was if I added some muslin or cheesecloth behind this, it might lift it a little bit from the background. I do like that. I think I might cut a bigger piece. Fray that out a bit. Okay, pop that down there, then pop that on there. Just helps it to stand out a little bit, I think. I'm not sure. Okay, I think I like that. I think that's good. Okay, so I don't really need that one, I don't think. I think it might be a bit too much. So what I might do is heat my hot glue gun up, and when I've got that hot, I'll come back. Oh dear, looks like I've lost my footage. All I did was use my hot glue gun to attach the flower, and that also would hold the cheesecloth in place. Then I found a sentiment and matted that onto a piece of the pattern paper and attached that to the front of my card. So thank you for watching my video, and I hope you can join me when I post my next video. Okay, bye.